Hi there, this is Loretta West with Color Garden Studio. I'm a art educator, a soul collage facilitator, and Zentangle teacher. And today we're just going to do a little demonstration to show you how to utilize pockets. In particular, these are my pockets from my jeans that were very old, and I'm utilizing them for printing. And so this is part one. We'll be showing you how to utilize clothing such as this pocket for printing. And then part two will be, what do you do with all that? So let's switch things around and get started. Okay, so to begin with, I have got for my supplies a 6x6 Gelly Arts gel printing plate. And I also have a Gelly Arts mini printing tool. I have some sheets of paper here. I've got some 8x8, that's 8 inches by 8 inches copy paper or bond paper to print on. I also have some deli paper, which I'll be utilizing probably. And for paint, I have got a Liquitex Basics black. So I use a lot of black. I find black really shows the fabric seams very well. I've got some inexpensive acrylics that I buy at my local dry goods store here. This is just called Acrylique from where it's made, but anyway, this one's called Wild Eggplant. It's a really deep purple. And this one is called Deep Turquoise, Pumpkin Orange, Vivid Yellow, and this is quite a transparent blue. It's called Neon Blue, but I would say it's not very neon, but it certainly is very transparent. And I have some plain white, so we'll be utilizing that today. I also have a brayer. I've got two different brayers here in case one gets gunked out. I got a smaller one, it's more like 4 inches, and then this one here, which is a full 6 inches wide. And I have a Baron, which is used for over the paper, get everything to stick down. And I have some feathers that I might utilize today. And I just found these. I was thinking, what else could I use? And I don't know, last winter somebody said, oh, you should get some sort of essential oils for something and put them on these discs and it'll be really great. Well, I did it once and this is what happened instead. So now I use them in my artwork. I don't think that's what they're intended to be used for, but they sure work for this. They're a little rounded. It's kind of hard to do things, but it's going to be all right. I also have some other fabric. I've got some lace here. This lace I bought for curtains or a valance many moons ago in Switzerland. Put it in my backpack, and now look what's happened to it. But here it is. It's still working, still being utilized. Okay, so I've got my surface ready. If you can see, it's not pristine. Okay, I just can't do the pristine look. I've tried. It doesn't last very long. I have put down some freezer paper on my desk. I find that really helps, and then I can use my brayer on it. I also have put down some deli paper and to use some of the rollout sheets. Use as a rollout sheet, pardon me. Okay, let's get started. So your pocket, you're going to have to either go to the thrift store and find some old pants, or it could be a shirt pocket, and be prepared to cut them up, or your own. In this case, just a second, I have to let the dog out. Here, don't you go. Sorry about that, but she is kind of demanding. Okay. So you have to cut it up, and you want the seams. The seams are really important. So be careful where you cut. So there's that one. I've done, that's the front pocket of my old gardening shorts that finally got so holy they were embarrassing. And then this is the back pocket, which I really like because it has 2 buttons here, a little tab thing. So that, you can look for that. If you're going to the thrift store, look for pants or shirts that have those little details on them. Maybe they have stitching or embroidery. That would be kind of neat to try on this technique. So let's start. So you're going to need a little black, and actually you're going to need more than you think. Now, normally with jelly plate printing, you put on a very translucent, or I do tend to put on a very translucent layer of paint on my plate for paper. But because the fabric is quite absorbent, you'll want to use a little more than you'd planned. So I've got a good wad on there. So what's that? Probably a little bigger than a dime. And I'm going to use a little bit of this blue. I'm going to shake it up really well because it won't get separated. Got this blue. So you'll see it's going to be a lot of paint. Oops, got paint to my thumb. That's okay. All right. I'm just going to move that aside. I've got my big brayer here, and I'm just going to roll it out. And I can make it uniform by dipsy doodling and rolling spreading the paint out in circular fashion. So it's quite dark, and you can, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see those little striations. That tells me that there's a lot of paint on there, which is what you really want in this case. Not in every instance, but in a lot of cases you want this. When you're doing fabric like this, it's absorbent. That's what has worked for me. Okay, so I want to get, I'm looking here, and I want to get the seams and everything in as much as I can. So I'm going to put that on the top, so that basically the top of the waistband is at the top of the jelly plate. And then I'm going to really press quite hard, because I want to press especially on the seams where I want it to show up. Now, if I had a larger jelly plate, then I would, be able to put more on there. So we're just going to do a simple print now, just this, so you can get an idea. But you can see, let's put a bit of paint there, that the seams show up. So put that to the side, and I'll get out my bond paper. Get back, put my mini tool back in place. I like to use a Baron because of the uniformity of the pressure. And then what I like to do is go back over and get the corners and the edges with my finger. So let's see what we have. What's going to happen? Ooh, nice. So there, and it was, there's a little bit of darkness here because it didn't get uniformly spread out on the paint. That didn't sound right at all. The paint did not get uniformly spread out, but it's kind of neat. It could be a grease stain, think old. And when I think of this, and I think of these jeans, I think of farming, and I think of ranching, and and all the patina that comes with, and this kind of works for me. So we'll put that one aside and we'll show you what else you can do. And if you want to, if you're persnickety, which I can be persnickety, you can go back over this and pick up a ghost print a little bit. See if we can do that. Just a little bit, get that off there. And you can clean it off. You like to have a clean print plate each time, just take some water and a rag and clean it off. But I'm going to leave it on because I like the little patina. So then I'm going to put this deep turquoise. I suppose that's opposed to shallow turquoise. And again with this eggplant, which is really starting to really like this color. And the black is going to be quite a bit on there. The Liquitex Basics Black. I'll pull that away, and I'm just going to go over it. So now I've got this sort of ombre effect with the three colors. Turquoise, black, and blue. I'm sorry, turquoise, purple, and black. Oh boy. Okay. I'm just going to pull that off. And then I'm going to take my other pocket, which is the front pocket of my shorts, my good old gardening shorts. Oh, I've had them for like 30 years. They don't owe me anything, so I'm glad to be able to use them in this respect. Again, I'm very careful and laying this down. And, you know, if you want to put deliberate wrinkles in there, you could, I suppose. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Take my sheet of paper again. 8x8 bond paper or copy paper. And Baron. Good, nice and uniform. I think, and then adding your fingers. It's sort of like making bread. If you could make bread in a mix master, that's great, but it's that kneading part of utilizing your hands that really make it fun. I'm just gonna go, I've got some parts here doing white take, so press down a little harder. Ooh, pretty. Ah, that's kind of neat. Like that effect at all. That's really nice. Okay. So let's add a little bit of embellishment here. And I'll take my belly paper and just get out some excess. Save that for later. Use that as a roll-off sheet. Oops, I got paper flying all over the place now. Oh dear. Okay. The things that happen. Okay. So I've got some more of those 8x8 sheets of paper ready. And again, I'm going to go with this black. And I'm going to add this time just a little bit of white. For that. Keep this out of the way for a minute. Ooh, so I got this nice gray. And I got right in the middle of this. Okay. All right. Put this back on there. Now, I'm going to use this front pocket again. position it. So you're going to have to do a little figuring here. So there it is there. And I've got some feathers. Oops. I want to make them look like they're coming out of the pocket. So there they are there. You can see them down there. This pocket is a little bit different in that I've got some exposed edge up there. So I'm just going to get that off of this paper and roll this down. Tamp this down with my fingers around the feathers. And let's see what happens here. Well, the feathers are still there. It's cool. Usually they come up with it. And then very gently, I'm going to take these feathers off. Thank you, feathers. And see what we have. So you can see their feathers are here and here, and the edge of the pocket is there. What do we have? This is the part that I just love, because you just don't know exactly what you're going to get. It's like a little magical surprise, which makes it fun. Okay. What do we have going on here? Oh, I feel it picked up a little eggplant from before, which is nice. There. There's some feathers. Now, for some purpose, or for whatever purpose you have, this may not be enough contrast. You may not be able to see the feathers very well, and you might want more. So you can go in after the paint is dry with a tool like a Prismacolor tool, colored pencil, and go in around the edges of the feathers and make them a little darker around the edges, and that will make them pop. You could also come in after with something like Inktense watercolor pencils or a watercolor pencil and very lightly go over the feathers and just stain them. Now, I want to say, though, if you did that, you would have to use a different paper, because the bond paper won't like that. The bond paper will buckle. So if you're going to use Inktense or watercolor over top, then you'll definitely want to use watercolor paper or a mixed media paper, a heavier paper that can take a little bit of moisture. Well, let's just do one more. That one I really liked. So let's try another one with this black, and I'm going to use one, go a little out the limb here. I'm going to give it a little bit of yellow. So I wish I had some sepia. For some reason I don't, but I'll put it on my list. Okay. Or even burnt umber, or burnt umber or sienna would be really beautiful if you want that patina look. So I'm really kind of mixing these a lot. Hey, it's going to be greeny black. But let's see what happens. The heck. Okay, I'm going to again use this front pocket. And I'm going to line up the top this time with the edge of the plate. And pat down and rub down the areas I really want it to be. See, now I'm not going to do too much in there because I have a plan. Okay. Lift that up. My green, this one. And then I'll replace my tool. And I've got this mandala kind of air freshener thing. And I'm going to line it up so that it goes to the curve of the pocket. And I'm just going to roll it around a little bit because it's not exactly flat on the bottom, but it will make a lovely design. And then my paper. Go over it with my band. And I found lots of things. I found out that, you know, this works really well with deli paper. It works very well with rice paper. And also I utilized a canvas sheet. And that was really cool because it provided a little more texture. So let's see what we've got going here. With this little thing. Oh, that's cool. Yes, I like that. And I do like that yellow. And oh my goodness, look at that. And that is something you certainly could come back in with after the paint is dried and if it's on heavier paper and stain that with Inktense or watercolor. That would be quite beautiful. So I also will show you ones that I had done previously. So I've mentioned about utilizing product. We don't have it. Okay. Okay. It's not here, but anyway, I did some on, or did one or two on canvas sheet. So this you can buy, you know, by the roll for a lot of money, or you can also buy it in sheets in a pad. So this is from a pad, and I utilize the rough side or the canvas side versus the side on the back. You know, both sides would probably work, but this probably is better because it's got more texture, and it turned out really well. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have it on me right now. I don't know where it went to. But that gives you an idea of what you can do. That will work fine. Here's some that I've done previously. So this is utilizing again that little air freshener. And this is on some rice paper. And this is also a different color, but on rice paper. This is on Strathmore 400 series drawing paper. It's one of my go-to drawing papers, and it does work for this just fine. As long as it doesn't get soaked, it doesn't get cranky. And here it is again, same drawing paper in more of a purple. But this is a case where I didn't use enough paint. So you're going to have to experiment maybe for the first little while and just how much paint your material from the garment will soak up. And so, but it still looks great. And I can go back over it with some colored pencils and bring up some of the details. And also, I think that's it. Oh, here's one I did. Again, it didn't turn out too bad, but this is on deli paper. So next one, the next series, or the next episode in this series will be on what to do with this stuff and what do you do with these pockets you make. So I'm coming up with some other ideas. I started to do a little collage here. I call it a garden pocket. So I got some paint on it. Oh, that's handy. Don't know how that happened, but there you go. Anyway, so that gives you an idea of what you can do with the pockets. And I will see you next time. Thanks very much for joining me. If you wish to see more videos, please like and subscribe and leave your comments. I'd be happy to read them. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.